Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined back by the one, the only Miss Lala Kent.
Ooh, I love that. The one and only. That's right. Thank you for having me again.
Oh my God, thank you for coming back. Thank you for doing this. Normally I ask someone what they've been up to and like what has happened since you were here last, but Lala, you've had a few things going on, right?
Yes, a few, just a couple.
So listen, first I just want to say, there's so much out there that's been written and I'm like, but how are you? No one ever just asked that basic question, like, how are you doing?
You know what? I'm really good. I feel like I'm in a great headspace. I feel happy and I'm healthy, so I have no complaints.
I love it. Well, listen, something else that's changed since you've been here last is, Give Them Lala, national bestseller.
Yes, can you believe it? I mean, I look back to when I wrote this book and, we were all so excited about it. And then we go into lockdown due to the pandemic and we decide like we're still launching the book, even though we're in a pandemic. And I'm so grateful for what the book has done.
Well, and now the paperback version is out.
The paperback version with the national bestseller little stamp. I'm very proud.
That's got to be, how many covers did you consider for this book? Because like I was looking at, I have the book. I mean, we've talked about the book before, but I was looking at the cover this morning and really just focusing. And I mean, if I, as a gay man, am like, I'm having a moment of getting turned on, I'm like, that is a hot picture.
Thank you. I will say it's probably the hottest I've ever felt. Like the glam was on point. I just was like feeling myself. And I was about, let's see, I think I was about 3 months pregnant in that photo. And I was just like feeling so womanly in that moment. And it was so strange to think about what I had written in the book and it's done. It's like ready to go out to people. And here I am like starting pretty much a brand new life, being a pregnant woman who's going to become a mother. It was like surreal.
Now that like it's like a full life cycle, right? Like the hard copy, then it becomes like a bestseller, the audiobook, now that the paper book, is this kind of like once it's out and shared to the world, is that kind of like putting the baby to bed and just like you've given full birth to this baby?
Right? This is like the type of baby where there's many stages of the birthing process. And I'm still into like actual books. Like I'm not the type of person who like downloads a book on my iPad. Like I like to flip the pages and I'm a paperback book reader. So I was obviously very excited to have the stamp of the national bestseller on the book, but I was like, I'm just so excited to be able to like bend it, right? The little things in life that make me happy.
I am the same way. I will never read a book on a computer, on a Kindle, whatever else people are doing. I have no interest. I want to actually hold a book in my hands, really.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way.
Are you going to do anything to celebrate the paperback? I mean, I know you had a party for the hard copy.
Well, I definitely want to do something to celebrate because like you said, it's like now we've fully given birth to Give Them Lala, the book. And I want to celebrate. I'm going into surgery to have my boobies done on Friday. So I'll be down for a little bit, but the second that I'm up and at 'em, I will be taking my new boobs out to celebrate my national bestseller book.
What are you doing to your boobies? I mean, I can make it up and I can guess a whole bunch of things, but why don't you tell me?
I've wanted them redone for a while. And then when I was pregnant, David, oh my gosh, they were so huge and amazing. And then, other moms told me that baby's going to suck the life out of them. And even though they're cute, still, it's like everything sits a little differently after you give birth and feed your baby. So I'm just ready to get them up there, maybe a little bigger. I'm going to get my groove back.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with a little refresh, right?
I feel like and I've always felt this way, if you feel like you want to go in and do something and you'll feel more beautiful after that, I don't think any woman or man needs surgery or injections, but if you want it because you'll feel hotter, then you should do that. So I want my new boobies and I'm doing it.
I love it. Do you think you would ever? I have a friend who, went through like something similar to like a similar breakup to like that you went through. And I mean, she's now like an actual therapist for like narcissist survivors. Like she's made a whole career out of it.
Amazing.
Do you think like you would ever write another book? I mean, listen, I'm excited and I love Give Them Lala, and there's so much more life into it, and everyone needs to buy the paperback. But like, do you think you would ever, write that type of book, almost like a self-help book of like having been through a certain experience like that and like what you've learned?
I would love to write another book. And I'm going to be so transparent with you. I love Give Them Lala so much. I'm so proud of this. And just everyone who helped this come to fruition. But there are certain parts of this book where even though they were real to me, I wrote my truth. It's strange to go back and look at those parts of the book because it wasn't real at all. That's like a tough pill to swallow. It's hard for me to dive back in to Give Them Lala. And again, like for me and my version and perspective on what my life was in certain parts of this book was very much real. But now with the bird's eye view, it's like for a second book, I could really dive into so many other things. And I'm not a professional on any sort of behavior, but I definitely, even with this book, Give Them Lala, I wanted people to see that like we have more in common than you think. Don't be so hard on yourself. And I would have the same agenda for the second book. But I don't think I'm in any place to be teaching people anything. I'm just here to like create a bonding experience.
Well, listen, I've said this before. I mean, you were on here last time. Like, you are a very honest, open person. So, right, like all of these things that you experienced while writing Give Them Lala were real and true. And now you just have like a bird's eye view. Does that make it hard, like when you now dive back into it and the paperback is out? Like, listen, you have achieved so much. You have these businesses, a podcast. Like, so to me, it's like, I don't know, you seem like I'm just making this up, but from being here twice and watching you on TV, like you seem like you'd be hard on yourself of like, do you have sleepless nights of like, oh my God, I should have seen that? Like, as you read back certain things and like, God, the warning signs were there. What the hell is wrong with me? Not that you should, but like, I could see you doing that, but I don't want to make anything up.
No, I definitely have these moments of like looking back and going, because I consider myself to be a smart person who has a read on people. But when I start getting down on myself, I have to remember this is not my doing. I can go to bed at night and sleep like a baby, knowing that I was true. And, I'm not going to take on the regret of like, how could I not see it? And, it's also hard to feel that way when I have such a beautiful daughter. If nothing else, that happened to me because I was supposed to have Ocean, and if I don't think that way, if any of us don't find the silver lining in things, it'll eat us alive.